Good to be with you guys. I obviously coming off a tough result again. We talked about that Saturday, but I think we're looking for context right now as a program, and that context for us is we're 3-3. We're positioned to achieve a lot this season. There's a lot left of this team to do. We've lost to three opponents that are in the top 15, two of which are in the top 10, and we're in an historic stretch of games here for this program this weekend, facing the third top 10 team in a row. And so we're getting measured against the best. We're a program that's developing, and while developing, being measured against the nation's best, and that's what we want to do. And the results at this point are a reflection of where we are, not of where we're headed. And I think even as we look at it, once you get past the sting of the result, you can see progress being made. And so our goal is to continue that progress, to keep the trajectory moving forward, to understand that in the end, as we set the direction of the program, we don't back away from wanting to build the best program in the country, but to know that we're early in on that journey, and we have to have some patience and some awareness and really just continue to pour into the process we started, knowing that over time that'll deliver the results we're looking for. This team's excited about the challenge of going to play the number one team in the country this weekend. We're excited to go down to Athens and play in a fun environment on the road. And in the end, anxious to see if we can pull forward some of the positive things that we've done to this point in the season, including the first half of the Ole Miss game where, there were flashes of Vanderbilt football. And if we can replicate Vanderbilt football over 4 quarters, we'll put ourselves in good position in Athens. I told the team that as painful as the result was and as frustrating as it is to all of us, again, we're not defeated or discouraged. We're going to continue forward. But, again, once you get past the sting, you think about just the moments of, joy that we shared on Saturday and the fun that we had in performing at a level that put ourselves in a good position, to put our team in a good position. And now it's our job to replicate those moving forward. So to get right back in the fight and to find that formula again and that confidence again that put us in position heading into halftime to be up, and then stretch out over 4 quarters and find out what our highest level is no matter who we're playing against. So just some perspective here and kind of some of the messaging we've had within the program. With that, I'm happy to open up for questions.
Do you talk about last year's loss to Georgia and use it as motivation, or just not even?
We haven't. We won't, and we haven't, and we don't. That hasn't been a part of our formula this year at all. I mean, I feel like I'm coaching a different team. And so we kind of spend time on what the team needs, and that's going to be different from kind of where things were a year ago.
The running back room is gotten thin with Rocco quitting. With I guess Chase Gillespie was hurt Saturday, looked like he wasn't dressed.
Yeah.
You've only got 2 guys on the depth chart. Just give us the state of that, everybody's health.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I played some running back in the day, and Coach McKenzie, and so. We might get to some 21 personnel, and you might see some of the old heads out there. No, we have. Look, anytime in the middle of the season you're going to be banged up. Obviously, that depth chart took a hit with Rocco's departure, and we have to work on a plan to account for that, and we're in the process of doing that, and we'll stretch that through the week. I think the roster, your team is banged up mid-season, and as we're heading in, getting through SEC play too. So we're going to have to, through the week, develop a formula that allows us to stay fresh and stay healthy and to be at our best. I think the 2 guys on the depth chart have been proven commodities for us. Ray Davis put a great effort together on Saturday, and continue to be impressed with his progress. Both in the run game and as a receiver. And then Patrick Smith's been a guy that we've leaned upon for his playmaking ability too. So we're excited there, and I think, between Coop and Chase, finding the third piece of that, and then also, other ways to be creative to supplement, that depth. Saturday I thought Joey did a great job playing multiple personnel groups, and there's a lot of answers there. So we'll be hard at work this week to get that plan finalized. But excited for the group we have, and have a faith and confidence in Joey that he's going to put the best 11 on the field.
What is the status of Steven Sininola and Gillespie for this week?
Those are soft tissue, and so those are day-to-day issues. Chase may be a little further along than Steven, and we're hopeful for his availability, and right now projecting his availability, but we have to wait and see how the week plays out.
How's Gunner doing?
He's doing well. He's back at it today. Feel good about him, and barring any setbacks in the week, he'll be ready to go.
The weekly Davion Davis question, where is he?
He's progressing. Probably still a few weeks out, but he is getting closer. He's doing work on land now, so he's out of the pool, and just having to give the injury time to respond, but also build his capacity too. When you don't want to put him out and compromise his safety, because he hasn't practiced in a while, and so getting him back to full speed.
Is playing him 4 games, getting him back for next year, a possibility?
It is, yeah, it is. I think a lot of that depends on, obviously Davion wants to play, but a lot of that depends on how quickly he's able to get back, and what the time that allows us to, and allows for him to be out there.
Is Christian James okay?
He is. He got. He's banged up, and so he's got a maintenance injury, one that as he goes day to day, we're going to see how he responds to see his availability, but feel good about it. I just need him to get out there and mix it up a little bit, and I'd say he's questionable for the game, but we're expecting him, assuming it responds the right way, to be there with us.
It looks like what you guys are trying to do in the secondary is kind of keep the ball in front of you, but that's not always happened lately. Do you reevaluate anything strategically with what you're doing there?
Well, I think for sure you look at where those breakdowns are. You have young players that are getting experience in front of your eyes against, again, top quality competition, and our mistakes are magnified. Our margins are razor thin, and so, for example, you have a play in the first half where DeRicky Wright is in a cover 4 and doesn't have a vertical threat, closes the middle. We cover down on the outside and we force the quarterback to move. We plaster routes, which we didn't do against Northern Illinois, so you see an improvement there. And because we did the little things the right way early, we're in a dominant position, and DeRicky attacks the ball in the air thrown, and it's an interception. Fast forward there to the end of the half, and that post is beats our corner and splits the middle, and we weren't able to get the extra body there to defend it. And so you have the same guys in similar situations. We just need those responses to be consistent, and so certainly that's a part of it. I think that comes with experience, and it's painful to learn from experience that leads to touchdowns. There's certainly design and structure that allows for us to close the middle and keep things in front, and we're looking into that. And then I think the other thing is where do you choose to shorten the down and try to add a little pressure on the quarterback. I thought in the first half against Ole Miss, up until that post, we really had a good plan, and we're executing the plan. And sometimes that's going to be to get against a good offense, to be patient and to work to the stop. I think the first drive was indicative of that, and then the one that resulted in a field goal, and then the one also that led to a 4th down stop. Those are situations where we absorbed some yards early, but we're able to stand tall late, and that's a sign of a defense that's playing to an identity. We have to be able to build to the stop, and so in situations where we get into 3rd and throw and 4th and throw, to be able to at that point, get the pressure, eliminate the escape routes, and down the ball.
How how have you seen AJ progress since the Alabama game? And I noticed that you weren't necessarily throwing the ball deep a lot. Is that something that you want to add into the offense going forward?
Are you saying throwing it deep against Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Well, we had some one-on-one shots. I mean, on the sideline, we missed Gamarion on a post. I think they're there. The shots are in the plan. I think part of the plan is just ball control early. So how do we stay in rhythm, stay in sync, and extend drives? But we're going to give AJ a chance to go up top.
Georgia, I mean, it's not super common that you see a team lose as much talent to the NFL draft, especially early, as they did, and yet remains ranked number one. How are they, similar and different also from last season?
Well, they've recruited well and they've reloaded. I mean, they have a good defense and the quarterback's really good. The tight ends are really good. I mean, they've adapted and adjusted, but this is a team that reloads, and they're number one in the country for a reason. Thanks.
While you sit, Clark, with Ricky Wright, I mean, how much does him getting those 2 picks last week, that streak, how much does that mean to a defense that is in a stretch where you're facing so many high-powered SEC teams?
Yeah, we want to be a team that attacks the ball, and DeRicky can do that. And to be able to extend that streak's important, but not as important as playing an identity over 4 quarters and winning the game. And so we got to be better in those areas, but certainly we want one of the signatures of our defense to be that ball hawking mentality.
I think statistically the run defense has improved, and that's pretty obvious from watching. The pass defense doesn't seem to be better than last year, at least just watching the games. Is that?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? And what I guess one would think with the personnel changes and such that it would have improved. What do you attribute that to? I guess what. We've asked what needs to be better, but why hasn't the step forward been taken from last season?
Well, I think early in the season we were not playing to an identity at corner. I thought that improved on Saturday. I think we're addressing those areas, and we're growing, again, young players. We've added obviously Jeremy to the mix, but Tyson and BJ still haven't played a lot of football here. I mean, they're developmental, and so we needed to do a better job with alignments and tempos and eye discipline and those kind of things. That caught up with us on Saturday again on a crack and go. And that's as we coach those things, we put them in those situations in practice. It's taking that preparation to the game. And then, at the safety position, we're, playing, Max has obviously played a bunch of football for us, but between DeRicky and Jalen, they haven't played a lot back there. And so, Jalen's been more of a nickel, and DeRicky, has been an overhang and wasn't around in spring. And so it takes time to build. It doesn't mean that we're deferring good performance either. I mean, we're frustrated with the pass defense, and we want to be better. I think the other thing, too, is, there's a screen thrown on Saturday that goes for an explosive touchdown, too. And so there's a lot there when you're playing against explosive skill. I mean, credit Ole Miss also, because every time we had our eyes in the wrong place or every time we were a step slow, they hit it. That's what a good team does. I mean, we couldn't afford to make a mistake and not pay for it on Saturday. And, we got to get better. Look, the run defense has improved, but especially between the tackles, our play on the perimeter has to improve. It will. We're paying attention to it, and, we're not going to stop until we get, the identity we need to play for 4 quarters. We're in construction right now, and we have to, expedite that process, and we will.
Can you just comment on the general offensive improvement? Your line has given up a lot fewer sacks. You developed a couple playmakers. At receiver, Ray Davis is, I think, top 5 or 6 in rushing in the league. It just seems like that whole bunch has taken a big leap. What do you think is behind that?
Well, we believe in our guys. I think that the continuity of the offensive staff. If we look back a year ago, I think we would have said that offensively we were a mess. And to see that improvement, I think what Joey's been able to do with his staff, designing and then growing the players within the design. AJ and Mike have done a great job at the quarterback position, getting protection set. The offensive line is working as a unit. Certainly there are places where we can improve and we want to keep getting better, but you have a chance when you got 11 guys that are focused on doing their job. The same formula will apply to our defense. I mean, this isn't, we are in search of a higher level defensively. We are going to find that. And it's going to be a combination of snap experience, maturity within the roster and playing maturity, design and designing for success, and that continuity that comes with player-coach relationship. But that to me is offensively what we've been able to accomplish, and a huge credit to players for their development, a credit to the staff for their design. And then, we've gotten a lot out of the quarterback play. I mean, to come out of Saturday, with one of our tackles down, and Junior did a great job stepping in, but to come out of that game without a sack was also a product of getting the ball out on time and in rhythm, and getting the ball in play. And I thought AJ did a nice job with that, and he's done enough with respect to evading rush to extend plays and to give us a chance down the field. So we're a program again that's developmentally focused, that is every day pushing forward, and we're hopefully every day that we're together, we're getting closer to that that vision of 4 quarters of tough, physical, relentless football that we know we can play.
Anything else?
What does Bennett do so well for his offense?
Who's that?
Stetson Bennett.
He's he's confident. I mean, he's so clear that he has a confidence, a comfort. Gets the ball out on time. He knows where to take his risks and fit the ball into tight windows. Obviously, he believes in the targets he's throwing to. He's also elusive, and I think that's something he doesn't get enough credit for. But he can run, and he's athletic, and he presents a lot of challenges that way. So, anytime you got a guy like that playing quarterback, you got a tough offense, and certainly that's what they are.
Is the fact that you've already faced some tough QBs help your defense?
Well, we've certainly. I think every time you play to the level of competition that we played against, you're gaining experience against the very best in the country, and so I think sometimes it's the pain of realizing that your mistakes. It was the double moves against Alabama that got on top of us. On Saturday, it was some of the same. It's not when we don't close the middle and it's a post, so on and so forth. You realize what happens when you're not on top of your game. We have not yet been a defense that has been able to problem solve on the move, and that's what we got to get to. And a lot of that has to do with, again, just gaining comfort in a system, gaining comfort in a position. We believe the players are fully capable of doing that, and we're coaching them to the point where they will do that. And then beyond that, we're as we learn more and more about their capabilities, designing to allow for their success too. But again, our margins are thin as it is, and I think when you measure yourself against the best in the country, particularly these quarterbacks, they're going to make you pay for your mistakes, and so we have to get this headed in the right direction quickly and just continue to improve. And I think again, you come out of Saturday and you look back and say, man, we gave up a lot of points, a lot of passing yards, but when you watch the game again and you give it time and you marinate on it, you realize there was also some really strong play and some really strong play call and some really good design in there. It just, when the floodgates opened, we weren't able to get them closed, and that's where we need to be better. And kind of that's our focus right now moving forward.
All set? Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.